Hello, everybody, and welcome to Ask Us Anything. We're delighted that you're with us tonight.
We certainly are. Welcome to a very warm. It's been warm all week, hasn't it?
It has.
Yeah, and it's. I think it's supposed to be warm for a couple more days, and it's been crazy hot. So we hope you guys are all doing well, and we are going to spend the next hour or so answering your questions. And we've got a couple of announcements. But first, let's bring Phyllis Carr on and get her to help go over everything and how you can ask questions that are related to your RV lifestyle life. Hi, Phyllis. Oh, that's not you. That's our second camera. Hey, see, we got two cameras. There's one camera. Say hello to that one. And then there's this camera. And it'll take us a while. And there's Phyllis. So we're all together now.
That's great. So I only have one camera. I'm not so fancy.
Oh, for Pete's sakes. All the cool kids have more than one camera.
Well, I could set one up, but I don't think I want to. So anyway, so there's a lot of people already here. And for those of you who don't know the routine, a really good thing to do is if you have a question, type question in all caps. If you have a comment, type comment in all caps. Try to not misspell too many words. It's a really good tip for everybody if you can. And we'll get to as many as we can. And the thing is don't repeat the questions like that because sometimes they get jumbled up with questions from Facebook and questions from YouTube. You never know when they fall into the queue that we see right here. So, and then hopefully they have a little surprise announcement sometime tonight.
I'm going to do that right now. So let's give them that, and then we'll repeat it later on. But thank you, Phyllis, and we'll check in with you a little later on. And Jen, you want to show everybody the surprise that we're giving away and tell them what this is since you did so much work on it?
This is Bugs Off. And it's a sponge type fabric that cleans bugs off from exterior cars. It's the plastic, the wheel covers, all parts of the car. This works great.
If you want to see it in use, just check out Jennifer's video. She did a video that we released yesterday, and it's a pretty neat product. You were very impressed with it.
I thought it was a great way to wash the vehicle.
Yeah.
We got bugs off that I didn't know they would come off.
It did. So we'll tell you about it later on. The way it works is you can enter it multiple times. And as you do that, you can also let your friends know about it. Many times as you want to enter, you can go so, and we will have like a at random drawing, and it will come, I think in about a week or so, we'll announce the winner. And we actually have 7 of these pads to give away, 7 of these packets to give away. So if you want to see what it's like, go look at the video. They're not a sponsor of ours. They sent it to us.
And so we tried it out. And, when we were in the campgrounds, there are always people, particularly the Class A's, always scrubbing their RVs. And I think, boy, they're sure fussy about keeping them clean. But then after reading the directions with this, that when a bug splatters on your paint job, you want to get it off. They put out some kind of little acid and it becomes part of your vehicle. So you got to get it off. So that's why everybody was always out there washing those cars, vehicles.
And now I guess we can. We actually washed the whole RV with it.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody on one of the YouTube comments thought that you did a great Huckleberry Finn thing to get me into it. She was oohing and ahhing how much she liked this thing. And so I did it.
And it was great because the part I was doing was really easy. And then when you jumped in, I don't know why it was harder there.
Yeah.
So I was glad I didn't have to do the hard part.
Yeah. But it was fun. And you can see it. So there's the address below, and we'll kind of repeat that later on for you all. And hopefully one of you guys will win. Now let's get to your questions and see what we can come up with from the thing. This is from Bernard and Sylvana Morris.
It's a comment sharing our news. Frustrated with the wait for our LTV, bought a 2022 Winnebago Travato yesterday. It happened so fast and we're so excited. I can see why you are excited. Now you've got it. You can go. You don't have to wait.
That is awesome. Yeah, the wait time. This is what we're going to talk about in our podcast on Wednesday. I mean, new RVs are all sold out for the year or longer. Thor Motor Company, they have like $14 million in inventory that they can't deliver, that people have ordered. And most of the RV manufacturers just don't have time to get one. Leisure travel vans, 3 years, up to 3 years in some cases to get what you want for something built new. So we understand your frustration, Bernard and Sylvana, and I think a lot of people are going to probably doing the same thing.
I mean, you don't want to waste 1 or 2 years waiting. You need it now.
Yeah. The older you get, the
Yeah, you're
less
very
time
aware.
you all have. So great. Another question. And this comes from Michael Murphy. He says, hi, kids from Cleveland.
Yes, we are loving most Ohio state parks, but weekends are packed. Last week, we left for an hour, the motorhome, came back, and a cornhole game was set up on our spot. Should I rope?
That's a good question.
I'm glad they didn't have the full RV and everything set up there.
Yeah. So that's the problem that a lot of people have. And it has to do, when you leave a campsite, what do? How do you market? How do people know? In a state park, you should have a little tag out in front with your name on it. So I'm surprised that there would be a problem. But I always put something on. We try and put a little campsite occupied. What other kind of things can they do?
Well, I bet the people knew that campsite was occupied. They just wanted some space to play a game.
Yeah. So whatever. But
I mean, you want to get along
they'll
with your
stop
neighbor.
the game when you come back. So
Yeah.
I mean, all things said, maybe you could have played the game with them. I don't know. But you worry about stuff getting stolen.
Right.
That's,
When you leave it, you don't know if it'll get legs.
I see Michael Stanley. I just mentioned Thor had a backlog. Yeah, it's not 14 million. It's 14 billion. Can you imagine $14 billion in backlogged inventory that you can't deliver? They're sold out. Billion.
Ooh. 14
billion Thor motorhomes. They've got a new Class C that I really would like to take a look at too. So, but I don't think you can see it anywhere. So, all right, more questions. Here's one from Jerry Cornelius. Hey, Jerry, he's a regular.
What do you think about obtaining a TSD logistics fuel card? I was going to get one, but they want my social security number, and I'm not comfortable giving that out. Am I being paranoid?
I don't like giving my social security number out. And frankly, we have a post on the blog about that logistics fuel card. It's really meant for, now you can get one if you have diesel, but it's really meant for over-the-road diesel truckers. And you can see why they would want that. I mean, those guys, when they do a fill up, it's $350 or more. So, it's a question. I don't like giving out my social security. There should be another way to do it. But it's your call, and it's your call whether you're going to really save enough money to make that worth your while. If you're not a full-timer and filling up a whole lot, I don't know if it's worth all the hassle, and I don't know if I would do that. What do you think? Would you give out? You don't like giving out your social security?
I don't like giving out my social security number.
Yeah. So good luck, Jerry.
Of course,
let us know what
nowadays
you decide.
it seems like all that personal information, everybody's got it. We keep getting notices from every place.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Here's a question from James Harris.
On your Unity and Wonder, have you ever had issues with the tank sensors? I understand that the sensors are on the outside of the tank on the leisure vans.
I don't know where they are, but every RV we've had, Class Bs, and now the last two are Class Cs, after a while, gunk builds up in those tanks, right? You can imagine what they are that built up, and the sensors don't work right. One of the things why we have not had a problem on leisure is they have a thing called, I believe it's called Saniflush.
Mm-hmm.
And basically you hook up a hose to it when you're at a dump site or at a campground with a sewer connection. You hook up a hose to it, and water will spray in and really clean out that black tank, that Saniflush. And then you just drain your black tank, and that really helps, and it cleans off those sensors. So there's all sorts of little tricks people do to stop the sensors. They put ice in there and drive around, and they say that does it. Our friend James from the Fit RV, he did a demonstration on it and found it didn't do it at all. But to your specific question about our leisure travel vans Unity that we had previously and the Wonder, our sensors have worked pretty good. So we haven't had a problem. But I think it's because we have that Santa flush situation, which we really like. All right. Rex Sayon.
All right. Any RV community in the Philippines?
I don't know.
Probably.
I don't know. I don't know, Rex. Not that I know of. So somebody here will put on an answer if they know of any. We've never been there. I hear it's a beautiful country. Hey, our friend Tom McAllister.
What do you know about leisure travel vans closing production until late August?
It wouldn't surprise me. I talked to them 2 weeks ago, and they had closed production for a couple of weeks back in May and early June. And then they were getting some chassis and they were building those, but it's the same problem everybody seems to be having. And that is you can't get product. You can't get your parts. You can't get the suppliers aren't bringing stuff in. You're not getting chassis from Ford. Remember the chip thing that they had with all the engines? Ford wasn't sending them the transit chassis. And Mercedes-Benz, this is the third year in a row they've had a problem delivering enough cutaway chassis or van chassis on the Sprinter platform for RVers. So, the same thing you see that has a $14 billion backlog with Thor, a smaller manufacturer like Leisure. I don't know that that's true, Tom, but it would not surprise me. We're doing a talk on Wednesday about how seriously backlogged everything is.
And I don't know, COVID in Canada was a little behind us. I don't think that's a problem. Do you?
Yeah, they had a little spike, in May, early June. But I don't know whether that's a problem. I have not heard anything that it would indicate that they'd be closed until August. But
if you can't build them, there's no sense in having your people just sitting there.
Yeah. So, but it's tough on everybody, particularly people who are waiting for one and can't get one. 61 million Americans are planning to go RVing this summer.
I think that's wonderful.
Yeah, if they can get RVs. A lot of them already have RVs, or they're borrowing them or renting. The rental industry has exploded, but now I just read a story that the rental people are having trouble getting new RVs to put in the rental fleet or to get people who have them. So,
and you know what the next thing will be?
What's that?
Gas.
Oh, well, let's not talk about
let's not
that.
talk about that.
Gas prices. Yeah. All right, let's try another question here. This comes from William Bioni.
Tires. 2014 Unity needs 4 back tires, 2 new Continental tires on the front for, oops, just lost that.
Yeah.
Can I put, that's all right, front, older on the rear. Can you put the 2 new Continental tires? Can I put the Michelins in the back, or should I just go ahead and replace all 6?
I'm not a tire guy, but I know that you're not supposed to mix and match tire brands. I think you can, but I think your ride would do. If you're going to get 4, get 6, and then get all Michelins. Michelins are great. We may do that with ours in the next couple of months. I don't know. We'll see. But
I had always thought they all had to be the same, but I'm sure all of our listeners, maybe somebody is really up on tires. And
maybe.
Yeah.
We don't know. It's.
I would get 6.
I would too. So go for it. If you're going to buy 4, you might as well get 6. Then you got all new, nice, easy ride. You're going to love the Michelin.
And for
maybe
the
you can sell those 2 newer Continentals that you have.
And for the rotating of tires.
Yeah, you don't really. A lot of people don't want to rotate them. The rears. You can kind of do the front, but they don't like to do the rear.
Oh, okay. So, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Good question, William. Thank you for asking it today. Robert Piper has a question.
What is the name of the mobile repair you said you use? And he now has his own shop in the Oakland County area. We're just getting ready to head to Ludington for 2 weeks, and we now have an LP leak. Help and thanks in advance. Yeah, you got to go to his shop now. He doesn't come to you. He's too busy.
And I frankly don't know if he's still in business or not. I haven't dealt with him in 3 years, and I think it's been 3 years. And the last time I tried, that's when I learned he started his own shop, but it was called M53 Mobile Repair. I don't know what he calls it now, but check that up. That's you're obviously in the Michigan area, and he lives north of Detroit. Your best bet is to go on Google and just hit mobile RV repair near me. We've done that across the country. We've always found people. So I would do the same thing. Mobile RV repair near me. I don't know where you are. If you're in Oakland County, you might find somebody else that's doing it. But the guy I used was called M53 Mobile RV.
And I can see why they wanted to use who you used, because you were happy with
Yeah,
him.
I was very happy. I like the guy a lot. So good luck. You want to take care of that LP leak. That's never a good thing. All right, Cody Kirkpatrick.
Just bought a 43-foot Weekend Warrior toy hauler and really frustrated because I got into a wreck and totaled it last weekend. That is very sad.
Oh my gosh.
Very sad.
Oh my gosh. That's
and then
just
trying
terrible.
to get the insurance money and then trying to buy another one.
Oh, I am so sorry for you, Cody. And totaled. Oh my gosh.
I hope
you're
everybody's all right.
But I can certainly see being frustrated about
Yeah,
that.
That's very sad.
That is very sad.
Very sad.
Yeah. Man. James Harris.
Since the Unity FX has limited exterior storage, was it hard to fit your chairs, grill, table, and outdoor mat? Yes.
Yes, it was.
I had to give up my favorite chairs and use Mike's favorite chairs, which are little and fit into a tiny spot. And you can't have a great big grill. You have to think about that. And the outdoor mat, we got, what is that, a 5x7 that we have? We don't have like an 8x10 or real
I think
big.
it's a little bigger than 5x10
maybe. I don't know. But it's a little bit smaller than what we used to have, but we love it. It's perfect.
It's very lightweight.
Yeah, lightweight, it doesn't kill the grass.
We bought it at
Camping World. Mm-hmm.
But not a lot of storage on the Unity FX. That was our biggest complaint with it. Not a lot of outside storage.
A lot of room inside.
Now you can tow something. So
Yeah.
you could tow a car and throw everything in that. Lots of room inside. That's what we liked about it. So it's always this juggling act, whatever kind of RV you get.
Yep. Right now we've got lots of basement, lots of storage space.
So we can take it. In fact, we've got Look at the Sky gravity chair. We've got a rocker in there. We got my two telescoping chairs. We got our mat. We got all my gear. We got more stuff than we need.
Now we have a danger because when we want something, we can't find it. We don't know what we have.
I have to
in
take
there.
everything out. What do I? Oh, look.
Yeah. So there's a danger unless you're a very organized person and put some shelves in and don't just toss everything in.
Yep. Hey, for all of you new folks who came on, I want to just do another quick reminder. If you saw our video that we released yesterday, it's on a product that Jen and I found. They sent it to us to review. They're not a sponsor. And when we get stuff like that, we always say, okay, we're going to test it out. And if it doesn't work, we're telling everybody that too. Well, this one worked and we did a whole video on it. It's called Bugs Off.
Bugs Off.
And it's pretty inexpensive. I think I don't know. Anyway,
I think they're $8 each or $3 for, I don't know.
There's a link on our blog post about it and the video as well.
It really works well. I was surprised how well it worked. It's kind of like a Mr. Clean eraser. And remember those cloths that we used to have?
Yeah, the dryer things.
You use a good RV car wash and just dip it in and use that and scrub. And the wheel covers, plastic, paint, everything, the bugs come off.
Look at the video, read the story we did. But there, down at the screen, is we're going to give away the company. We call them and say, hey, we're going to tell everybody about it. You want to give some away to our audience? And they said, well, we would be delighted. So they're giving seven of them away, and you can enter the sweepstakes through there as many times as you want. We'll announce them in a week or so. All the details, just go there. And U.S. only. Can't ship it to Canada, and Canada's weird about internet contests. So
so the interesting part is you could even clean carpet. I was using this on some spots on our carpet.
I used it for the floor mats.
Yeah.
Today in the RV, we cleaned it up.
Yeah. You can get a small hand-sized one for inside the house. You can clean windows with it, like white vinegar and water. I mean, it's kind of hard because of dog hair.
Go to rvlifestyle.com and you'll see our story on it. It's all there. But anyway, so enter the sweepstakes if you want a chance to win those. We love giving away stuff like that. So, all right, another question from one of our viewers out there, listeners, Debbie Costa.
With regard to the Santa flush, do you utilize a pressure regulator when using dump stations, water sources to flush tanks?
I don't. I mean, it's not. I've never seen a whole lot of flush of power at a dump station. I turn it on, I see how much it's coming off and coming out of the hose, and it's not bad. So I've never needed it. I do have a regulator, but I don't use it all the time because I've gotten so I can turn it.
No, I'm just joking.
No, I know where it is. I mounted these little organized Obi nets back there in the garage.
Yeah, that's great.
But you can turn on after a while. You learn, oh, that's fine, and so that's what I do. Not a problem. All right, from Brian Highland.
Why did you sell your Class B Sprinter? Not what you thought it would be. I loved our Class B Sprinters, and we wanted to try something else.
Well, I grew very tired of the lack of space. What can I say? It seems like I keep getting more and more gear, but we got all this stuff. We bring this with us when we do our podcast on the road and our videos, and drones and cameras and chargers and computers, and then all the stuff that we need. And there's just never was enough room in the Sprinter, particularly in the inside. When I wanted to work, it was just not comfortable. So that's why we moved up, and we're in a Class C now. And I don't, as the main driver, I'm not going. I don't think I'll go back to a B, unless Jennifer wants to. How's that, dear?
That's great.
Okay,
that's great.
But that's why we did it, and we want to try other things. Like we tried. There's a couple other manufacturers who have stuff that we may want to try those. I don't see us going anything bigger than a C ever, but
I wouldn't be surprised someday.
I never thought we'd do a B. Would go from a B. So. That's the beauty of this thing. We've been doing this 10 years now, and
we'll probably end up back in a tent.
We probably will. We've thought about a towable. I mean, we've never. Well, we did a pop-up, but we've never done. We did our first RV.
Our first RV was a 13-foot Shasta.
It was a little. Yeah. Now they sell those as retros. Do you know that?
Well,
for big
that was
bucks.
a long time ago. Yeah. You should have kept that thing.
But we we really liked our all of our RVs. We thought, well, maybe we should go with an Airstream or something like that. Or we like Lance. I like those camper trucks. We saw, those are nice. So
nothing is perfect. There's things you love about this and things you love about that.
And the more we can learn about all these different RVs, and the only way to really learn it is to be out there in a long time with it. So, but right now we love what we have. So that's
tell you, the Class B, I got pretty worn out because the things from the back to the front at night, and then the back and forward and back.
Oh yeah, and you had to scooch out.
That was the worst. That really, I forgot about that.
When you got up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, with the king size bed, you had to scooch to get out of that bed. Yeah. Our first one though had two twins. You could leave it as twins or else put it together for a king size bed.
Yeah. Yep. It is it. Good question, Brian.
Yeah, very good question.
This one is from Jean Kelly.
Everything looks like it's starting to open up. My wife and I are planning to hit the road westward bound. We'll be using all your information. Very informative. Thanks for doing what you do.
Oh,
well, thank you for encouraging us.
Thank you. We're taking off Tuesday when we record the podcast for this week tomorrow. We're now doing, by the way, video versions of the podcast. We should tell everybody about our new studio here. We've been showing our different cameras, but hopefully it's a little better sound, a little better audio, a little better video. And we're hitting the road Tuesday. And this time we're going to tour Lake Michigan or Lake Huron. We've been doing a lot in the UP. We've done a lot in Michigan, but and all this is part in getting ready to announce the availability of our Great Lakes Shoreline Tour guide that travels all the U.S. Great Lakes, 4,000 miles if you follow all the routes we say, just on the U.S. side, all the way around the Great Lakes. And that's going to be coming out very soon. So we're going off to do a couple videos on Lake Huron and show that. We haven't done a lot on Lake Huron video-wise. We're also, to your question, Jean, it is opening up, but you are going to find it's really hard to get a spot without a reservation. I looked at probably 10 Michigan state parks. I could get single nights here and there, but even during the week, most were all filled.
We could only get 2 nights.
We could
when
only
we
get
wanted
2
3.
nights at the main place we want to go. But that was good. But the good side thing is that we have found Harvest Hosts that we love, that we're going to stay at Harvest Hosts and have some fun there. So that's all coming up, and you should do the same. You do. I'm not a big fan of reservations, but Gene, try and look ahead and get your reservations as we get closer to the 4th of July. It's going to get crazier and crazier. And follow our suggestions in all of our travel guides and
have
call
fun.
early and have fun. Yeah, that's the first rule. You got to
have fun.
Yep. But it was crowded out there making those reservations.
How will the Hershey RV show be put on, since according to news reports, almost no one has any inventory? I've been thinking the same thing.
Hey, we're all going to be doing stories on one trailer.
We're all going to bring our rigs there and put them in a circle and let everybody go through.
Yeah, maybe we'll do that. That's a great question, William. I haven't really
I've been thinking the same thing.
I don't know how they're going to do it.
I mean, they don't have inventory.
Well, there's a lot of people, who have trailers and stuff that were built, a couple of years ago, and they're selling though. Some of these RV dealers have nothing on their lots. So I don't know. That's a really good question. I'm going to have to put that to some of the dealers that normally go there. I don't know. Hopefully they'll have something, because we always love that show. It's always a lot of fun, and we like doing meetups with you guys.
Now, you see, you're good in Tampa because they have all that entertainment, all the people walking around in circles. There's all that entertainment.
And everybody wants to go to Tampa in January.
Yeah.
So should be fun. Cody Kirkpatrick, what's his question?
Would you ever consider going full-time RVing?
We're pretty close to it
tomorrow.
Now. We're half to 3/4 of the time, Cody. And, because we work from the road a lot, and this is what we do, this kind of stuff, it gets really old when I come back from a trip, or I'm on a trip and I have, 5 videos I have to edit. And I have 20 stories I got to start writing on the blog, and we got to get all this stuff written. It gets old. So it's kind of nice to come back to like here where we have a studio and we can work intensive, get our stuff done, and then go out again.
But it is a responsibility having a home.
Yeah.
That, always needs something.
We just noticed yesterday, carpenter ants are burrowing into one of the supports on our deck. So we got people coming to fix
Hungry
that.
little guys.
Mean little buggers, aren't they? So, but I don't think I have no desire to go full time. We're half 3/4 of the year. That's enough for me. And I had to promise Jennifer when we first started 10 years ago. I promised her right then that I would not go.
You would not make me live in a Class B.
Yep. But maybe now that I got something a little bigger, I'm never going to say no, never, Cody. But right now, I don't see that. We have a condo in Florida, which we use a lot. We have this, and then we're on the road so much. So
now it sounds like we're greedy people. The condo in Florida is a rental property.
Rental, yeah.
We use it some.
Yep. Anyway, thanks for asking. So we have a question from RVing Guru.
My wife and I love your recipes video, and every time we go RVing, we make at least one of the recipes. Would you be considering making another recipe video? Yes, I would be considering making another recipe video. In fact, I made a new recipe the other day, and the chicken.
Oh, didn't you? I thought we did something else too besides the chicken.
We did, but I've had that recipe. It was from my sister a long time. It was really good though. You take a chuck roast and put it in a crock pot. That would be one that people would like, because you could be driving down the road and the crock pot, you put some sauce and green peppers and onions, and
we should probably.
And
do
it would
that.
be
That's
so easy.
Recipe. It's Mexican chicken.
Well, the beef barbecues.
The beef barbecues.
And then
you
Mexican chicken. Now I got to find one more. I got to do 3.
Yeah. Well, we could just do 2. But we've already made those.
We'll
have to do those later on.
Because it makes a lot.
They're really good.
Yeah, the beef barbecues are super good.
Hey, let's give everybody a quick tour of what we've done here in the studio, because I just see a couple of questions on what we asked. Somebody wanted to know what this is off behind me, and yes, this is my my amateur radio station, my HF radio. And with that radio, I can talk all over the world. It's there's nobody on now, but I have been a ham radio operator and for a long time, and we have a lot of fun with it. So, but that's there's.
Every Sunday evening, KB2FAF, Chris. He bought some tickets for.
And
Those
it
guys
works.
are KB2s. They're in New York land. All right, so enough of that. But I got a bunch of that stuff there,
And
and
it works really great at being in the downstairs office.
it does. It does. And up here is my UHF VHF system. I don't have it turned on, but that is. I've done a couple of videos on that, and I'm going to have an announcement for those of you. Okay, I'm going to get out of there. I'm going to have an announcement about that pretty soon. We've talked about CB radio and how it's nuts. We're going to open up an RV lifestyle room for ham radio operators as they travel around the country or are in campgrounds from all over the country. We can all talk. I'll be hanging out there a lot. I'll tell you more about that later on.
Well,
But
that'll be fun.
yeah, that's really going to be fun. One of the local clubs offered me that. They said, we'll make a room for you. And you can, it's the RV lifestyle. So people, and other people will come in too. But if you're a ham radio operator, UHF, VHF, Yaesu Fusion is the protocol system we would use. That's pretty geeky for the rest of you. I can see you all turning off. For the camera nuts, we have a couple cameras. This one here is my new main squeeze camera, and that is the brand new Canon M50 Mark II. It replaces the M50, which we've had for about 3 years. And the M50 has been a great camera. I think you can see it. No, you can't see it, but it's over by Jen. Actually, that's it right over Jen's head, right to the left of over her left ear. It's on its Ronin gimbal, and that's been our mainstays. This is the replacement, so I'll probably use both of those. And then this front-facing camera is the new Sony A6100. And then I've got a couple more cameras that we'll put in.
And stay tuned because there's going to be cameras behind us.
Yeah, I had one that was working before.
And how about the ceiling?
Well, I thought I needed one down here if I ever wanted to show a document, but it's getting crazy.
Just checking.
All right, I promise no more geek stuff, but people were asking, and I know others would want to know. So we'll go back to your questions. Here's Bradley Olson.
Do you use your key fob since installing your combination lock? I was the one who made the Tom Sawyer reference to your video yesterday. Jen, tell Mike it's fun to vacuum.
Shh, thanks. I did that today too.
You did help vacuum a little bit today. That was great.
Bradley, I have never used the key fob, not once. Yeah, I just have using the combo. So not once. Have you used yours? You haven't used yours?
No, I love punching in the code.
Yeah, it's just been really nice. So now I think we'll have to replace the batteries come cold weather time, but yeah, I have not had to do it at all. It's great. I love it. We have a video on the YouTube channel, RV Lifestyle YouTube channel on the RV lock. It's a combination lock, and I really like having that. It's been great.
And as reference to Mike helping out washing the rig,
Yeah.
that we made the video. I said to Mike, since we have 3 of these, too bad we weren't in a campground. We could have water and we could all line up to get 3 people.
Get a whole bunch of different RVs out there.
See
Yeah.
everybody's comment about it.
Mike F.
First time I blew apart my fresh water fill check valve apart when I turned the campground water source on. So the first time.
Yep. We're talking about too much water pressure.
Yeah, but at the campground, you always use that.
No, I don't because we have it. It's
Built
no, that's
At the campground?
No, at the campground I do. I
Yeah.
always do use that. Yep.
Yeah,
I do.
we got
And
nervous about that. Thought we better always use that.
I do always kind of turn it on full
Slowly.
blast just to see before I hook up the hose. But we do have it, and we always check it and go from that way. But
Boy, that's a hard way to learn.
yeah, I did that the very first year we had a Class B, and we went to an FMCA rally in Indianapolis. And I hooked up the water, and it whoosh. Oh well, you learn that lesson real quick. But they had vendors in there, and we got it fixed. People fixed it. Everything can be fixed. It just takes money, right?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah,
skill.
and you can't let it,
Or skill.
you know, you can't let it get you down. You
No.
have to just say you learn something.
Yep. All right. Terry Gillis.
Have you ever driven and camped with a small Class A? No, we have not. If not, might you rent, borrow one, and do a review on Class A's versus a C for us?
It would be fun to.
That would be kind of fun.
I like some of those small Class A's. Who's that buddy? Eric Anderson, we met him in Natchez, and he's off in the Badlands now. He's a regular on our RV Lifestyle Facebook group. They have that, I think it's the Axis, a very small little Class A, and it's really sharp. I really liked it. And they tow a vehicle with it. But we've never been in it. I mean, that's why I always say never, but
so what is the smallest Class A out there?
I think it's this Axis. That's the one I'm seeing.
Okay.
But
I'm sorry, how long was that?
It's probably 28, 30 feet, maybe 30 at the most.
Yeah.
So it's like 4 or 5 feet longer than what we have. But yeah, I'd be very willing to try one. So we'll see. Thanks, Terry.
I think a main concern is the gas, more gas.
We only get like 12.5 on this Class C we have now. So, but gas prices, everybody is facing gas price crisis. They're all going up and up and up and up. So I can see that's going to be an issue. But yep. Chuck Gunn.
Still waiting for our rig we bought in Tampa in January. That is very sad.
Yeah. I
Very
don't know what
sad.
you ordered, Chuck, but you're not alone if that's any. It's never, people always say, "Oh, you're never alone," as if that's
No,
going to
that
make
doesn't
it easier.
help.
That doesn't help at all.
Doesn't help at all.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of numbers, labels, 4-1 label. I don't know.
Thank you. You say that you loved our video on the best road food. As you could tell, we had a lot of fun making that video. It was fun driving around and going to these places. Especially, I mean, who would think people would sign a hot dog bun and put it up on the wall and other people would be interested in it?
Yeah, I mean, hundreds and hundreds.
Yeah,
of them.
the walls were lined with hot dog
Tony
buns.
Paco's in Toledo. If you haven't seen that video, you'll get hungry. So take a look at it. Linda Ward.
I can see that Canada is considering lifting travel restrictions for vaccinated visitors in early July. This is according to Canada's travel website.
That will be really good news for a lot of folks, particularly a lot of folks out west that were hoping to go up to Banff and Waterton and all the beautiful provincial and state parks in Canada. And I think a lot of Canadians would like to come down here as well. Maybe, I don't know, but that's good. It's been closed a long time. So I saw that as well, that it could be July. So fingers crossed. The grumpy grandpa.
What advice do you have for buying local dealership and servicing local or buying out of state, factory direct, if available, and then local service, pros and cons?
Well, you can kind of figure out some of those yourself. If you order local, they're going to give you, I think, a little better priority service when you need it because you're a customer. Whereas if you call them up and you say, I need to get in, just human nature is they're going to put their own customers ahead of you. That's not saying that they won't fix it, but that just makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? So now we have bought out of state and we had no problems getting service. It's kind of like you travel around the country a lot. We're on half, 3/4 of the time. So often we get our service done when we're somewhere else and we've never not been able to get it. But on a day in, day out basis where you're going to have it's really nice to have a regular mechanic that you work up. For our leisure travel vans, we drive almost 200 miles across Michigan to get any of the work done on the motorhome part at a dealer in Holland, Michigan that we bought from. We've bought 2 RV. No, we bought
one.
This one. We bought this last one through him. The other one we bought to a dealer in New Mexico. I would probably, if we buy another one from Leisure, we will get it from Holland again, because we've been very happy with their service. So I would always suggest that you look as close as possible to getting it locally, unless they don't have what you want. You can get it quicker somewhere else. But all things being equal, local is always better. You agree?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go, Grumpy Grandpa. Excuse me. Thank you to Bill Galitono for $5 as a YouTube super chat. Thank you very much, Bill. We really appreciate that. Those super chats over on YouTube are really a lot of fun.
And Bill,
His love of our channel.
really enjoying our new 2021
Excuse me.
Wonder. Do you want some of my water?
Well,
Yeah,
sure.
always.
While you're telling them about, yeah.
So we're so happy that you're happy with your 2021 Wonder rear lounge.
That's really nice, that rear lounge. You got that big window and
Yeah.
Murphy bed that comes down, I think,
Mhm.
and that's great. So happy. Thank you, Bill, and thanks again for that super chat.
And thanks for telling us that you like what you bought.
That's great to know. Robin Ostermeyer.
We just came back from a month-long trip to Montana to visit our daughter. Visited Superior National Forest, Custer's Glacier National Forest, Theodore Roosevelt's National Forest, and Yellowstone. What a wonderful trip.
We have been to all of those national forests, and those sounds like you did a lot of boondocking, and you got to Yellowstone. That's a great trip, and
That sounds like a wonderful trip. You get to go
yeah.
visit Montana, which I love Montana. You want to live in Montana, and you have
I
a
do.
daughter there. That makes it really
I
special.
do.
You don't, but they do.
Yeah. Montana is an awesome place. So
I like Theodore Roosevelt National
I
Park.
know too. It's one of my favorite parks. I really like the little town of Medora.
Yes.
I wonder if they're going to do the musical this year.
They
in
should,
Medora.
I would think. I bet they do.
It's kind of this awesome cowboy variety show musical. We thought it would be really hokey, and it's a little hokey, but it's really in a
fun.
gorgeous theater setting. And it was one of the most enjoyable things we've
They had to
seen.
chase off the moose.
Chase off the elk,
Deer?
the elk,
Deer,
yeah.
something.
Yeah, we love that. So hopefully Medora and their musical's coming back now this year. Thank
Hopefully.
you. Yep. Thanks for the question, Robin.
Comment.
Dan Saftow.
I know you use a drone for some of your video shots. Have you gotten any complaints about using it? Did you have major problems when you first started using it?
Well, I've had a drone now for probably 6 years, and there are fewer and fewer places where you can fly it. Drones got a really bad rep, and I really don't know why. I use mine for just video.
Because there's always a few fools out there
yeah.
chasing animals around. And,
Yeah, that's it.
you know.
We talked to a guy who flies for the Air Force, and he didn't have a good thing to say about drones because, he's run into them, not run into them literally, but he says they can't even take off if there's one in the area. In a helicopter, they can't fly if there's a drone in the area. So they can do a lot of damage, but I have not. I would love to use it more. I love to get those long shots of us driving down the road with it. And I love when we're in a really nice spot to send it up and show everybody where we're staying. So I've not had any complaints, but we tend to be in the middle of nowhere. You can't use them in national parks, and many state parks don't. So always find out whether you can fly a drone there. And
Maybe there needs to be more licensing on.
Well, it's pretty. There's, it's kind of if for hobbyists you don't need one. If you are commercial in any which way, and you have to get a license for it, and that's just about as hard as getting flight school for an airplane. You got to know tons of stuff, but it's worth doing. It is, if you like it. In terms of problems starting using it, no, I don't. The biggest problem I have is I'm not a video game player. If you play video games all the time, you'll take to it like crazy. The system I have now, which is just the little Mavic Air, I think it's their latest model, but I bought this really nice controller with it. So I'm not trying to look at a picture through my smartphone. I actually have a nice little unit that's part of the whole thing. It's their studio, whatever it is. I don't know what the name of it is, but I love it. It's a lot of fun. Just be careful where it is and don't get cocky with it, and don't go harassing animals or people, and stay out of national parks with it. Don't use it there, and you'll be fine.
I don't even know if they're welcome in state parks.
Some state parks you can.
Oh, can you?
Just ask. Many you can't. So, Jana.
Just bought a 2019 Pleasureway Plateau Thursday. Learned Saturday that there is a Mercedes-Benz recall. Can you share what you know about that recall? Thanks.
I don't know about that one. There's a recall all the time, and 99% of the time it's something very minor. So take a look at it. Call whoever does your service. I just got one on the Ford Transit that we use, and it's a matter. They sent me two little zip ties. They just want to tie up a harness someplace, and I could probably do it myself, but I'll take it to the dealer so they can write it down. But that's what most of the recalls are not bad. I don't know what that one that you have, Jana, is, because there's recalls all the time, just like in cars. Oftentimes it's just minor little things. If it's a recall, don't drive this thing, we would certainly have heard about it, and I don't hear one about that at all. So I don't, without even knowing what they sent you, I wouldn't worry about it. RVing Guru is back with another question.
I took a trip to Michigan a week ago. It was beautiful. Would you consider doing a get-together soon?
I am. Not in Michigan. I was toying around with doing one next week, but we got too much to do, and we don't have time to tell everybody.
You have to find a place that could
yeah,
accommodate
you can
folks.
just start. But I hopefully I'll know in the next week. We've got an opportunity to.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we don't tell.
Okay, don't tell.
But we have an opportunity for a get together for anybody who wants to come, and it could be pretty fun. So I'm waiting to get some details on it this week. But if we did it, that would be sometime over the next couple months, maybe even another one in the fall. We do have a big get together that we're doing for our supporters, our supporting members who are either Facebook supporters or YouTube members. That one's sold out, and that's in October on the Mississippi River. But well, for everybody, we're trying to come up with one, and I might be able to tell you something next week. I'll know a little bit more this week.
And then, of course, we have our winter camp out.
Are we going to do that again this year?
Why not?
I don't know. Probably.
Bo has it marked on his calendar.
Yeah, it's always a hassle because we have to go to Tampa right from there, and it gets really.
It does
crazy,
get really hard.
So I'm not gonna commit
promise
to that
that
yet. Although I always want to do it as soon as I see snow in the forecast.
Oh
so,
yeah,
yeah. And Bo, that's his favorite.
I was trying to talk you into another spot for the winter camp out, but we have this tradition going. I mean, we've been going up there for what, 8 years?
Yeah. Here's a question from Wayne Barrows.
Thank you for enjoying our live chat sessions. I just bought a 1975 Apollo RV in really good condition. Do you have any suggestions of things I should do to repair it, to use?
To prepare it.
To prepare it, sorry.
Well, go over everything. See if you can find an RV inspector. Wayne, if worst comes to worst, do that. What I suggested to an earlier questioner, just go on Google and search RV repair service near me. And, for $60, $70, whatever they charge you, $100 to come out, have the peace of mind of having them look over everything in that RV. Oh, your propane system's good. You need a new regulator for that propane. You don't want to mess around with stuff like that. So have them go through it and give you a rough idea. There is a professional organization, RV Inspectors Association, National RV Inspectors Association. You can search for it on Google and you'll find it. But I'm a big believer in these mobile repair guys. They've seen everything. They would know hey, this is the stuff that breaks most often. And I would invest $100 or whatever their service call is, have them come out and go over and tell you what you need to do. So that's my suggestions. Next question is from George Harding.
How many Emmys have you been awarded? Like your studio, like your equipment more?
How many Emmys do we have?
16 or 18? I can't remember. 18?
I think it's 18.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. And my TV days. Yep. There's some right over there. And I think there's one couple. I use them for bookends. Move your head and you can see them back behind Jen.
The other way.
Yeah, there's for bookends there. But and then we've got a bunch upstairs. But yeah, thanks.
He did line all
So-
18 up. I loved it. One year he won 3 and I carried one around and somebody came up and congratulated me and I said, thank you.
Oh, it was fun, wasn't it? It was. All right, let's see what else we have for a question. And we got to tell you about our merch. Where I'm wearing merch. Forget your Jennifer's. You can't buy that. That's a one-of-a-kind item. That's our
Retro.
yeah. Well, no, that was our uniform for when we go to RV shows.
Mhm.
But this is our new version of the big home, small yard, small house, big yard, and maybe you can see it better on this camera with our RV on it, or an RV on it, and you can see that. And we've got a bunch of different designs. Just go there. Father's Day is coming up. Moms, buy your dad a cool RV, some merch, and have him go shopping. Just rvlifestyle.com/go shopping, and you can see that. We can't get to all the questions every week. There's so many of them, and we always feel really bad about that. We really wish you guys would know that we want to answer everyone, but we can't. We run out of our voices run, and an hour long is a long time to do questions like this, but we do try and answer them. And here's a way that you could help us and you. If you have a question, just go to this phone number right here and call that in. It's our voicemail message. Leave us a question and we will answer it on this Wednesday's podcast. On the podcast, we'll answer it. And the podcast now, no one has said anything, but we've had just a phenomenal response to the first video version that we did last week. We will be doing a video version of our podcast now every week as well. So audio for you guys to listen to it on your favorite app. And now on our YouTube channel, the podcast will have a video version of it. So the questions that if I didn't get to yours, just go to that number and we will do our best to answer it. We want to invite you to be a part of our Facebook group. That if you have a problem on the road and you need some advice quick, no matter what time of the day or night you post it, somebody on our group is going to see that question and you'll get some good quality answers. We have like 54,000 followers now on our Facebook group. It's growing rapidly. Thanks to our great shout out, by the way, to all of our volunteers and our moderators who help keep that sane and fun and upbeat. But make sure you join that. Just go join it and be a part of our RV lifestyle community there. No selling stuff, no spam, none of that's allowed, no negative comments. We probably kick off 2 or 3 people a day who just get sarcastic or mean spirited. And life's too short for that. But we'd love to have you be a part of that. All right, Jack Parton with the story, with a question. Jack?
I got back yesterday from our first big trip, 6 weeks, 8,000 miles out west
When did you stop?
in a Travato 59K. Do you ever experience letdown when you get home?
I do.
Yeah,
All the time.
that's a long time.
That's a great travel. 8,000 miles. Yeah, we do all the time. And where we really get it, but here's the way to get out of that. Go clean out your RV, and once you clean it out, wash it, mop the floors, vacuum everything, shake out the rugs. And then what happens?
You want to go
You
someplace.
immediately want to go someplace again. And between trips, we've been known to go out in our RV and take a nap in it. And sometimes we just go and sit in it. And, but yeah, there is always a set down because you had such a great time. I mean, 8,000 miles, 6 weeks out west, seeing everything, being close to it with that Class B Travato. So it's bound that you're going to have a bit of a letdown.
6 weeks. I'm wondering if to get 6 weeks off, retired or what. And I just makes me have a lot of questions about being gone 6 weeks.
Yep. We got to remind them about the sweepstakes again because there's new people on. If you saw our video yesterday. It's on this product right here that Jen really liked this. She washed our RV in it. It's called Bugs Off. It's a little pad, and you get it wet, and it just does an amazing job with the company. We reached out to the company, and they said that they would give 7 of them away, 7 sets of them. I think it's a little packet of 3, I believe in them. And they'll give them away, and we're going to run a sweepstakes. All you have to do is go to that address, and you can get all the information you need and enter as many times as you want. We'll announce the winners.
And you
in a
can
week
use
or
them
two.
over and over again. You just wash them out. And the warning, do not use dish soap when you use these
Oh yeah,
on your vehicle.
on any kind of vehicle. And why is that? Why shouldn't you use
It
dish soap?
has a grease cutter in it, and it can ruin the finish on your car or your RV. And if you want to wash windows, you use white vinegar and water, like a professional window cleaner, and use this. You don't have to buy all those detergents and chemicals.
Chosen one and his girl Sparling.
Do you do any online work while traveling?
We do all the time. We work from the road, and that's we have to work all the time because we have so much stuff. We don't have new content in the blog every single day. There's a new story on rvlifestyle.com. So new stuff all the time, and we have to have internet, and so we do. We're working all the time. So there we go. I think we're done. It's been a fun trip. Let's say hello and check in with Phyllis. Everybody behaving today?
Yeah, good group tonight. I don't think Christopher had any troubles over there on YouTube.
Shout out over to YouTube, where Christopher Colley has been on there telling people stuff like that. And he's been really working and helping people stay in touch with us. And thank you, Chris, for being over there on YouTube. Phyllis, thank you for being there tonight.
Glad to do it.
We'll see you next week. And for all of you, new content every single day in the blog. I mean, nobody knows how much work that is. Phyllis
Well,
does.
you're telling them.
Phyllis does, and you know it.
Mhm.
But we've been really proud of all the stuff we've had on the blog and your comments. We thank you guys for going and reading it, but please share it. Since for those of you on YouTube, down in the right-hand corner, there's a little button that says subscribe. Would you do us a big favor and subscribe to the to our channel over there on YouTube? For all the rest of you on Facebook, we hope to see you on the group. Don't forget our podcast on Wednesday. Newsletter goes out tomorrow with lots of stuff. And that's all we got. We're tired. I hope you like the new studio. And don't forget video version of the podcast now as well, every Wednesday. That's it. You want to say goodbye?
Okay, goodbye. Happy trails.
Happy trails.